So, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon for Lleida, Spanish time. Good night, 8:30 p.m. If I am not wrong, Josh, in your country, India. Is that right?
Yeah, it is around 8:30 here. So everyone have good evening.
Totally dark
And
or not?
yeah, it is totally dark right now.
Okay. So before we start the streaming, we were talking about that in Spain we still have this costume. I don't know how to say it, that we changed the time zone in summer. So next Sunday we will change our hour to CST, Central Europe summertime, and it will be a mess because we will all the country suddenly didn't remember what is the time here and not in the other regions of the world. So crazy. So hello Ryan, Soham, Pablo, Manas. Thank you for being there. And let's gonna see how our colleague and velvet mentor Yash Raj is gonna make us a demo of dissecting the volcano track up with the scalpel. Are you gonna make some blood today?
Yeah, so hello everyone. I hope you are having a very wonderful day ahead. So I'm just gonna talk about how the Flutter La Palma volcano tracking app was made and what all sort of features, what are sort of UX fundamentals and everything that it had, and what is your take and how you're gonna get something out of it for your successful Google Summer of Code 2024. So without any further ado, let's begin. As we know, the La Palma Liquid Galaxy project is based on the catastrophe. It is a very sad event that occurred in the region of La Palma, the island of La Palma, which is based off uh, in Spain, which is based off near the coast of Africa. And we know the catastrophe was caused by the Cumbre Vieja volcano, which caused a very, I would say, tremendous effect. It was a very saddening effect that happened and that caused a lot of loss. And as we can see here, you can see in the pictures that depict how much of a catastrophe it was. So this is something of a stats perspective that through Wikipedia, we can see that in the Canary Islands, the lava flowed between 19 September to 13 December, and it caused a large amount of, I would say, loss. It covered around 1,000 hectares of land. There was a shock wave that traveled across Earth around 3 times. There was 300,000 tons of sulfur dioxide that was released, and all of it, I would say, was a very disrupting event, something that we must never forget. And to technologically remember this incident, I was very happy. I was very honored to make this La Palma volcano tracking app, something that beautifully displays a not so beautiful event that happened in the islands of Spain, the La Palma Islands. So, what was the my motivation? My motivation was that it has to show the KML files of the volcanic incident, and how I collected the data would be based out of some sites like Copernicus and GDAX. And firstly, I started off by making a web scraping Flutter app. So this is my Google Summer of Code description, the one that I have to give, the one that I have to submit with my Google Docs proposal. So this is what I came up with. I came up with a very neat solution of differentiating various visualizations based on something called tracks. So there would be tracks about the lava flow, the historic flow, the earthquake magnitude, the events that were detected. And as you know, when a volcanic event happens, there are several thousand earthquakes that happen across the area in which the lava is going to flow. So this is visualization of not just the lava, but also all of the other visualizations that take place. Something like the affected areas, it affected a lot of regions that, and the people were already warned, I would say several a week before, and they were able to evacuate the region. So all of it I wanted to tell through this description or in my Google Summer of Code, that how I will be scraping all the data, how I will be making in them into assets, making them into KMLs, and finally all the scraping can be removed and we can have a very good visualization of all the things in tracks. Other important features I listed were to make a multi-language plugin. You know that the La Palma volcano tracking app comes in 10 languages, and a day-night theme toggle for a better user experience. So let's jump in. I would like to start with some code, and I know that you have all have been doing some proposal writing work right now. So this would be your week to be writing your proposals, and maybe these snippets can come to your help also. First, you need to understand them, and then you need to like implement a demo, and maybe just write them a bit, not all of these, but a bit in your proposals. Also, it might help you a lot. So the first thing that we can see, what I did was before I started off by making the La Palma, the visualizations, I first had to set up a connection between my Liquid Galaxy and the tablet, the Android tablet on which the La Palma app was. I know the current needs is to use Dart SSH2, the one that you should be using, but this one was SSH2. I just want to tell you the difference, that Dart SSH2 supports the or is Dart 3 compatible, something that you will need and some innovation that you might have to make. But more or less, the code is as follows. You write the host, you write the port, the username, and the password, and it makes a connection. It sends a connection through WebSockets to allow connecting to the Liquid Galaxy. Let's move on. So there were other specific commands like the one to relaunch the LG. And these commands would be really helpful to you, no matter in which language you're writing. If you're writing in Java or Kotlin, just look at the code on the right side. It tells you the snippet that you have to execute. You may have to just change the way you are writing the string literals, but more or less the command that will execute will be to relaunch the LG in the order, in the specific order it is written here. If there were 5 LGs, then it would have been like started with LG5, LG3, LG1, LG2, LG4, and stuff like that. To make sure that this home LG log.txt will give you this following output is making you ensure that your Liquid Galaxy is getting a relaunch. The next command is for reboot, and I will be just going brief through these, and then I will be talking about the plugins that you can use based on not the plugins that I have used, but the 2024 plugins that are supported or that are compatible right now, the Flutter plugins that are now very much updated from what I have used. I never want you to be using some legacy code. A legacy code is something that is very old and deprecated. It may not be supported in the newer Android versions. I want you to always come up with the latest things that are happening in terms of the Play Store, the maintaining the Play Store application, that it is having the version systems that are compatible and that can be published. and also maintaining the packages and plugins that are very much supported with the Dart 3 or are Dart 3 compatible. So that would be coming. We will be coming on that later on. But this is the code to reboot your LG, something that will go as written here to have an execution with credentials of credentials username, and then you have to just pass this snippet and have that WebSocket connection go to your LG, and it will make a reboot. Always remember one thing: whenever you're using such commands like reboot, relaunch, shutdown, always make sure that you have a confirmation modal or a pop-up that happens beforehand, because you do not want such commands to be executed with just a click, because the user might press them by mistake, and you do not want that boots up or restarts your computer, that restarts the Liquid Galaxy. You will want to have a confirmation of some sort. The next command is for shutdown. It is very similar to the one that we saw before. It is just going to that LG power off. And these are some commands for starting the orbit, stopping the orbit, and cleaning the visualization. Now, just remember, whenever you are making an orbit, it has to make a 360 motion around a certain point. That point has to visualize all of the aspects that you are showcasing or you are displaying in your Liquid Galaxy. So let's say you are making a 360 motion, you copied the code from somewhere, but it is making a very zoomed in it is in a very zoomed in configuration. You're not able to showcase all of the things that are happening, all of the visualization. So you need to be very, I would say, handy. You need to understand the KML syntaxes that are making this happen. You need to know the elevation, basically, or exactly the elevation that you need to be on when you are making such sort of a orbit display. Now this one is for visualizing the KML. You can just write the name of the KML file that you are going to send. You send it to that LG1 port number 81, and it is able to visualize the data in KMLs. Now just remember, you may have seen La Palma uses the KMLs directly and visualizes it. I want you to do a difference here. I want you to save the JSON files or the GeoJSON files that will have all of the coordinates, and then generate the KML files in the app. So whenever you are making the KML, it is being generated from those coordinates. And I will tell you its benefit also later on. This is something that you can take a note of. The balloons or the descriptions that appear on the very rightmost LG should be, I would say, visually appealing. It should not be that you have just made some white boxes that have a text and they are not very visually appealing. The one you can see on the right side, it has my app logo of the La Palma. It has a heading, a subheading, a display image, and lastly, some sort of footer notes like La Palma Volcano Tracker 2022, the year in which it was made. So these sort of KMLs always come on the rightmost LG rig. Like you can see that there are 5 LG rigs in this configuration or the image that I have given. And the LG3 will be the rightmost LG here. And there is a very specific code. You can find it on many repositories to target the rightmost LG and always display the KML balloons there. And for the part you have to display it very graphically, make it visually appealing, just refer to KML balloon section of the developer Google Docs, and it will tell you all about the KML things that you need to know. Now moving on, this is a very important slide. I will take some time here, that you need to make a seamless interaction, the one like happens between Google Earth and Google Maps. Any movement that you make on the Google Maps on your app should be able to move the Google Earth of the Liquid Galaxy. Now, this was a setup before before making this, I got to know that there is something called a space navigator. And whenever you want to move your Liquid Galaxy, you can make any movements on the space navigator. Now, it is an expensive device and not everyone has that. So there has to be some sort of alternative to that. And this is the alternative that I came up with, that if we make some motions in the Google Maps, not actually the motions to be sending a KML, but just making random motions, and they should be reflected onto the Google Earth of the Liquid Galaxy as well. And this is an equation. It is an accurate equation, the kind of Mercator projector like Google Maps uses to be converted to based on the latitude to be converted to the elevation points that Google Earth uses. So if you can see this formula, this is the sort of Earth radius, and how the zoom based on the latitude can convert to your like how you can make the elevation be equal to your zoom. So what does it do? Basically, if you are zooming in or zooming out of the Google Maps, it will correspond to some elevation on your Google Earth. And this is the exact formula how it does. And it also depends on the latitude due to the shape of the Earth that we have. And I would say you can just see this code snippet also happening on the La Palma app. But I would want you to just take it directly from here, because it may be that you're not using Flutter, maybe you're using Java or Kotlin, and this is the algorithm that you can use. So definitely, when you are making your Google map, make it work with Google Earth also. Maybe if you are making it a small mini map sort of a thing, make it have a full screen icon that can allow you to navigate on your Google Earth seamlessly with the help of your Google Maps. And let's keep moving. Now, I will be spending some time on KMLs, because I got to know that some of you have very wonderfully displayed KMLs on your Google Earth, but you are facing some problems to display those same KMLs on your Google Maps. If I'm getting you right, just stay with me on this. So I will be coming to that point as well. But first, we need to take a look at how wonderfully we have shown all the KML data in the La Palma. So just remember, the basic KML will show you a yellow sort of pin icon, the one that we have here, but in yellow color. And those do not look really good. But KML allows you to change them based on some image configuration. You can make an image ID and you can just change those display icons to whatever you want. Like we have these icons of volcanoes here, and all of it was not pre-available to me. These things were available in the form that they had those yellow pins, and all of them were in your GeoJSONs or in coordinate format. But I wanted my KMLs to be looking very good. As simple as that. I wanted them to be displayed very beautifully. So what I did was I began searching how you can change them, and I just saw these sort of good icons that I can replace them with. I pushed those icons and I just made the reference to those icons in my KML, and this allowed me to make some sort of KMLs that were very beautifully looking. And you can do one thing: whenever you're making your own KMS, you can use the usual Google Earth software, not the Liquid Galaxy software, but the usual Google Earth. Or you can just open Google earth.google.com on your web and first see the KML how it is looking there. You can also edit those templates there as well, and finally have an output of the KML. Then look at the code. What exactly did you do? This will help you understand how you can generate your own KMLs. And it is a hit and try process. First, you need to understand how it is working. You can try with a very small sample. Then you can try with multiple samples. So let's say if I were able to make one of these many red square of the affected buildings that were destroyed, I can make all of them now. If I am able to make any one of these black lines that are showing all the natural roads that are occurring there, then I can make all of it. Same for the polygons, same for the other thing that are happening here. So always remember, take care of these visualizations. Just go to this KML documentation and you can make stunning visualizations. I'm very sure of that. Now, also remember that in the La Palma app, I directly have those KMLs, but I want you to do one thing: to have your GeoJSONs, which is basically have your coordinates and then convert them based on some polygon tags, polyline tags, and other tags that are available, so that you can finally convert them to your KML and display them. It might be an expensive process. It might take some a bit longer time. If you have a lot of KML data to represent, like I had in La Palma, you may go with the same process as me, but I will tell you the benefits of using a GeoJSON. Lastly, if you are making them on your virtual Liquid Galaxy and then you are having it checked on your Google Earth, it may happen some of the times or most of the times that it will not even show up. Now, what is that? The thing is that you may not have taken care of the altitude. So there are things like altitude mode, clamp to ground, clamp to sea floors, and you have to take a look at that. I would really encourage you to code that It will not happen that I'm just telling you in the meet and you already got everything. And a tessellate, which is a based of the altitude, you are making a decoration on those altitudes. And these things will help you that whenever you are sending these KMS to the Google Earth, then it may not had that altitude, which is why it is not showcasing. Basically, it is maybe below the ground. It is not able to showcase that beautifully as you were able to see in your virtual device. So take care of these altitudes. Most of the time, it is that it is under the ground and you may not have specified the right altitude modes. And then it will be able to show up on the Liquid Galaxy as well. So what we got to know in this slide is how you can make a beautiful presentation and why you should be using GeoJSONs. I will be telling you that later. Now let's keep moving. One thing that I would want you to do is also try this. This is a 3D model that we can see on the left side. It is called a Collada or a .de format. It is like your GLTF on the web, but it is a coding format that allows you to place 3D models. Now, if only try this if you have time and you are just in the process of making a very beautiful experience with the help of your app on the Liquid Galaxy. There is a 3D aspect of KML also available as well. And you can download some pre-made ones from the web, but you have to do a lot of testing if they are able to display correctly. You can use the Google Earth software. Then you can just go on to the actual Liquid Galaxy rig, try to test if you are able to place it correctly, your 3D models onto the Google Earth, because that this is something that will create a lasting effect of your app that will just make you stand out from everyone else. And all of it requires some sort of knowledge and some sort of experience that you can do right now or you can do after you have finished up your proposals. But remember that do not give a lot of time to this. This is something of a aspect which is really encouraged as a later thing, not as an immediate need of any of the applications. Now, let me tell you this. You can make KMLs on your app. And those who are saying they cannot, you'll be wrong. So the thing is, you have to make a platform-specific approach. You have to tweak into your Java code from your Flutter. You have to go exactly where your Java code is made from your Flutter. It is compiled from your Flutter. And you have to go to the exact path or the URL of the KML. It may give you some sort of errors, which is based on the security measures that Android has taken. But it is possible to be that you are able to get the get the location of your asset and finally able to show this KML. But more or less, I would say it is a hard process, and I would encourage you that it would be much better if you directly make those polygons, or a very good way would be to directly make all those polygons and polylines in your Google map as well. And if the Google Earth or the Liquid Galaxy is unavailable, just make it on the Google Maps. And you can see the Voltrack Huawei. Actually, what happened is after the Liquid Galaxy inception, which happened in the Google Summer of 2022, we got to know that there is a Huawei competition, a Huawei Apps Up competition in 2022, which led me to bring a Voltrack Huawei, a Huawei version of the Liquid Galaxy volcano tracking app, the La Palma app. And this app also has the implementation that the KMLs are displayed on the Google map. It has that beautiful lava thing, the beautiful lava effect, which actually was not so beautiful. It was a catastrophe to be displayed on the Google map. Now, coming to the next thing is how you will code the KMLs on the app. And I have just represented some of the code snippets because I have tried it. It is very much working. And this is available for you on the developersgoogle.com and the developersgoogle.com of the Google Maps documentation. It tells you how you can make your markers, your polylines, your advanced marker elements, your pin elements, and all of the various elements that you directly or indirectly make on your Google Earth. So why is this approach better? Because you do not have to worry about the security constraints when you are trying to query the asset of the .kml file that is occurring. You can directly make it from the existing functionalities of the Google Maps, the Flutter Google Maps, and you can very beautifully graphically represent it. You may have seen many apps. You may have seen Uber, Swiggy, Zomato have your Google Maps integrated into them, and they have some sort of coordinates and some sort of pin elements, some sort of lines that are flying around those elements and stuff like that. So I would want you to take a look at Google Maps as well, how you can beautifully create them, and take a look at the Voltrack Huawei app also. And I will be very happy if you have any of the questions regarding how you can display these KMLs on the app. But I would really advise you first, or encourage you first, to take a look at it, because I'm very sure it will be very clear to you once you have take a look at how you can import these Google Map features from these libraries that are available for you, and how you can just pinpoint them to the coordinate, and then finally make those markers appear on the maps. The next thing is the La Palma app follows a lot of UX laws, and it is because I am a UX geek. I just really love to have all of the user experience functionalities a lot more than anything else. The KMLs that are uploading, you may have seen it has a Zeigarnik effect, which means that it has some progress bars that are showing from left and right. They are giving you an effect that, yeah, it is loading for you, which is a sort of gamification perspective of that. And it also has a law of proximity in the custom builder, which means that it tends to make the icons appear together, which are a part of each other. It tends to tell you that, yeah, you can select these from the check boxes and you can make your own version of the La Palma depending on any two dates that you want to pick and any sort of data you want to visualize. The law of common region, which means that they are just made into a box for the vertical carousel effect. You may have seen these vertical snapping effects in many apps like your YouTube Shorts, your Instagram Reels, and stuff like that. They have those vertical swiping effects or gestures, and you may see this taking place in your La Palma app as well. And there are bigger buttons on the Liquid Galaxy tools page. There are bigger buttons in general, which is I would say abiding the Fitts law. And you have seen that it has a good readability. It has a reading mode and a dark mode depending on what you like, and all of it follows a minimum contrast ratio of 4.5:1, which is the standard for readability. It has some proper sizing of text and adequate spacing, the one that you also need to take care of. And all of these are things that you also need to take care of when you are making your own app. And finally, the thing is Jacob's law. And if in case you do not understand any of these law, I had made a wonderful session on the UX laws as well, in which I described each and every of the laws. Jacob's law is basically, if you see these things in other apps, it means that the user is very much accustomed to these features and you can just embed it in your own apps as well. So whenever you are first launching the La Palma app, it gives you a feature discovery, which means that it gives you a tour of the app. It gives you a technical tour where you can also skip the tour. And if you don't skip, you can see all of the various features that are brought upon in the app and how you can use them. Now, this is the important parts that I would want to take you to this in this session. I would want you to take something out of it. So, how to make progress bars? The progress bars that were made in La Palma Volcano tracking app has this effect that tells you that this KML is going to be visualized, and you have a bottom toast that tells you, yeah, visualizing KML. So it tells you that um, you just have clicked the button is into effect. You do not have to click it again and again, which is very important when you are sending large KML data, because it will always take time to generate. And the thing that was used here, or the thing that you can use, is the linear progress indicator. Some of these Flutter libraries are exactly what I use, but most of them are the ones that are compatible in 2024. Because if I were to tell only what I have used, it will not help you anymore. It may happen that those libraries that were in the La Palma are now deprecated. So I would want you to use the very latest things, the things that are available in 2024, which is the linear progress indicator. It is I would say a pre-made thing in your Flutter, and it allows you to have a fixed color indicator that you can use in the same fashion that I did. The next thing is how to I18N. Now I remember what I use was called Flutter Translate, but do not go for that. Instead, go for this Flutter I18N. It is the thing which is the most updated. It is Dart 3 compatible, and it will easily allow you to change the language. As you can see, I'm able to change in these 10 languages. I have a Cupertino action sheet, which is a Cupertino or an iOS style of widget, which really looks fantastic, and it allows you to change into any language. And you can make a similar effect also. But remember, these things like do not come as a immediate action, or do not are not an immediate need for your app. These are the extra things that you can do to stand out from the crowd. And I would definitely recommend you do this. I was able to do it in the 12 weeks and translate. So if you are done with your apps and if you are done with all of the technicalities, then you can jump onto these things, which will be decided later on for you. So don't worry about it. The next thing is how to animate. You may have seen the La Palma app has some animating things, like this orbit icon was rotating in the same fashion in the same amount of time as there was an orbit happening on the liquid galaxy, the Google Earth of the liquid galaxy. So when the Google Earth is making an orbit on the of the liquid galaxy, then we have this icon also orbiting for the same time. So you can do one thing is to use animated icons. You can see that this hamburger is turning to a back arrow here. And this will allow you to make some sort of animations happen in your icons, and you can take really good advantage of it. Just don't create those static icons. Make something that looks really fantastic and would be something that is easily possible with Flutter. Flutter creates very beautiful widgets, and you can make the best use of it. You just need to know how to, and it will not take you a lot of time to understand or to tweak into it. The next thing which I was telling is this sort of a vertical swipe effect, which you can make with the help of carousel slider. I believe what I used was called vertical slider or something like that, vertical carousel. Don't really remember, but this is the latest one, which is compatible on Dart 3. And if you're making these sort of effects, if you are making, then make sure to use this. The next thing I believe everyone has to do this one. So use Google Maps Flutter, and there is really no alternative. You cannot be using OpenStreetMaps. Like, come on, you can use Google Maps. They are like really fantastic on Flutter. So Flutter Google Maps is an excellent way to control Liquid Galaxy. No, Space Navigator was harmed writing this. It cannot be harmed. Space Navigator is definitely a much fantastic way to be able to control the Liquid Galaxy. And Google Earth can also do it very well, and Google Maps can also do it very well. And I would want you to just take a look at the code snippet. I might even provide you if you need it, or you can just take a look at this YouTube session later on, and it will help you to navigate into your liquid galaxy with the help of the Google Maps. The next thing I want to talk about is the app tour. So what I used was called something feature discovery. It helps you to tell about the features, but the latest one is called a tutorial course mark. So the tutorial course mark happens to work in the same way. You tell the title, you tell the description, and you tell the target widget on which it has to take the effect, and it will give you a similar effect. And you can just tweak into the animations, make it very much important that the user knows where to click. Like this one was very much easy to understand, that you have to click on these icons that are coming to go to the next step. Or it may happen that you can write step 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and a skip option, things like that. So Flutter tutorial course mark is where you can just tell the user to know the know-hows of your application. The next thing, it is something that all of you will be doing, is to make pop-ups. These pop-ups will come when you are making something like a reboot LG, a restart of the liquid galaxy, a shutdown operation, because you want the user's confirmation whether they want to do so or they have just by mistake clicked on it. Which makes me come to this point that you can use the alert dialog, which is pre-made or pre-available. The class is pre-available in your Flutter, and it allows you to create this sort of thing. But never stick to this. I would want you to make good-looking good-looking interfaces, good-looking illustrations that you can. So just be, I would say, very good in making these sort of designs that are easy to make in Flutter as well. So let's keep moving. I would want you to take a look at this also. This is the theme effect. The La Palma comes with a day and night theme, a user experience, and it uses something called the adaptive theme, something that is persistent using the shared preferences. You may have all accustomed or may all know about the shared preferences if you have used Flutter. So shared preferences basically that the things will be saved to your local or the Android app. So the next time you're opening it, it will be stored across these sessions. So this day night toggle effect you can make use of and just create some sort of modes. I would also encourage you to not just stick to two modes. You can make some low and high contrast mode, something that will leave a very good impact. You may have seen an app called Telegram. It has beautiful themes and stuff like that. And just remember, don't make a lot of themes. It will take all your time. You will not be able to do the major things that are needed. This is something or something that you can do in the later times, kind of like I did. And next, I would want to just ask you if you found it useful. We really got to know about the maps, the Google Earth, how you can make the Google Maps have those KMLs, how you can just directly create it, why you should be using GeoJSON because you would be needing those coordinates to make it onto the map and stuff like that. So I hope you really enjoyed it and will be taking something for adapting it in your own project. And definitely with the innovation that you are using 2024 libraries and not the exact ones that are using La Palma. So you shouldn't always be copying code, but try to make it innovative, try to make it with the latest libraries, maybe make your own things that you can leave an impact for the later years. And if you liked it, I would want you to just leave a star on the La Palma volcano eruption tracking tool. And that would be more or less everything I wanted to tell. I am very open to all the questions that you have. Don't be shy to ask anything. So, yeah. Yeah.
I think people were not listening to me at the YouTube. Now they are listening to me. I I have the same error that yesterday. I have to press on many places. So I was saying that no sound, Pablo. Now, yes. Um, I like it the the moment with the publicity for your GitHub. That's good, man. You
Yeah,
did a pretty nice work. So it is good. Could you please stop to share your screen, your slides,
definitely.
and let's wait. No, still no. Stop presenting.
I
Yes,
hope it has stopped sharing now.
it is okay now, except that my face is very pretty. Now we are on the same size, I think. So let's go to see. I think there is at least a question. So this is this presentation. How many times you have done this presentation? Yes, it's maybe the third time.
Yeah, it is the third for this
But
year.
you of course you improve it every time you did it, and it's nice. So I think what was that? Joseph Khaled, I think from Egypt. Joseph, correct me. Mentor Yash, did you make detailed balloons for your proposal rig mockups or just a draft?
So the answer is these are the real balloons that are happening, and I took a screenshot of the balloons. And it is not that I just made a design and the real ones are not as good. So those were the real KML balloons, and I just had the
But
screenshot
those
of
were
that.
the ones you developed in the application, not for the proposal.
Yeah. So these were not in the proposal. Yeah,
So the
definitely.
question he's asking is about what you did for the proposal, because people are doing proposals or changing or modifying their proposals.
Okay. So
So
for the proposal, I made a very basic looking, but it was not just a very simple white themed balloon. It still had some colors. It did not have many images and things, but you can make you have the, I would say, idea now that what you can do with KMLs. So you can just craft a very nice looking KML balloon, I would say.
good. Manas is also saying that if you can give some insights in data collection for KMLs.
So yeah. So if you would want to have some sort of data collection for KMS, just firstly start with your coordinates. each and everything that is displayed on your Google Earth will need those coordinates. And then when you have this data, maybe in an array of those coordinates, then you can just convert it based on what you need to display. Let's say we have to display some markers on the Google Earth. So we have a marker tag. We just make a loop of all these coordinates. And finally, when we have the KML ready, we have a template of the starting and the ending KML. We push it on the markers onto it, and then we have the data that we want to display. So this was a very basic thing, and you can just make complex and more complex things with KML like that.
Okay, and now Vedan is questioning something.
Yeah, so Vedant asked, mentor Vedant, I would say, asked that is it a good practice to use Cupertino action sheet on Cupertino style and Flutter apps for Android? Yeah, you can, because I would say Cupertino or the iOS effect looking widgets look really beautiful, and you can use it on your Android app as well. It is not a thing that they should always look like Android. iOS widgets are really nice looking. They have a glassy sort of a background. You can very well make a very good looking app based on that as well. So I hope there are more questions. I would want you to not be shy and keep asking.
Let's wait for a minute.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we can comment some stuff like just for chatting. 20 persons have already uploaded their proposal to the GSoC platform. Vivek, do we need to display mockups screens like about screen, help screen, or just main screens are fine in the proposal?
I would say the main screens you have to display up to like 3 to 4 mockups. You can just make you very good use of that to display the main attraction points, that is passing on the keynote of the proposal idea. You have to take care, and sometimes it happens that the about and the help screens are not very much of the main things that are needed. So just use those mockup very wisely to display the main attraction point, which will just be the main thing or the key thing for your proposal.
I will add something here, Vivek and everyone. So we ask for a minimum 5 mockups about the user interface in the tablet and 5 mockups on how the Liquid Galaxy screen will appear with the data. But as much mockups as you can do, it's better. So, for example, we need mockups of how you deal with your fingers in the tablet, or where are the different whatever widgets you have or whatever. But as much as you do, as best, because we see how you deal with design, with the user interface, with the user interactions, and is 50% 50% important in both sides. So we need to know how do you deal with the UX that's on the tablet, and how you deal with the representation of the data on the Liquid Galaxy. I always say the same thing. Remember, Google pays you, the chosen contributors, to develop applications for Google Earth. At least you have to do things with Google Earth. Parenthesis, you can also do with stuff with Chromium, but we will have some information the same way. So the point is that as much mockups you can do with how you will represent the data on the screens, the best. So if you want to do 10, do 10. For us, it's perfect. It's up to you. But for example, it is needed to do the help screens or main screens. I think it's important because, for example, one very simple thing. In the past months, with the money contest we have and the different applications you have done in task 2, I think, you develop the Liquid Galaxy settings usual screen. So believe me, most of you copied exactly the same screen, and that's not good. You using Flutter, the ones that are going to use Flutter, you can do totally different designs and more interactive, maybe, and more nicer. So please, if you have an idea, for example, how to make the Liquid Galaxy settings skills in a nicer way, please make it so. It does not have to be like just one, and not like the original controller, please, because this is very old. So you can do nice things. We use Flutter for this reason. And let me have my little dash here. Okay, so I will try to send you one. If you do things on Flutter, Yash, are you doing things on Flutter at the office?
We do. We occasionally do things on Flutter as well.
That's good. So I will try to send you a dash. I will try. This is difficult because this is big, and this is not the bigger. I have a bigger one. It's people do questions. I am just doing stupid things, waiting for your questions. Let me try to reach that big. Oh, come on, guy! Come on, it's coming! It's coming! It's coming! It's here. So if you think this is big, this is bigger. Those are the family. Oh. So
we have a question now. The question is by you.
We have a few things. First of all, sorry, I will say this. Yeah. Mentor Bedan, our poet, says, Mentor Yash, this is a good practice to you. You already say this. You already say this? No.
Yeah,
it was the last question. Vivek, Joseph, do you have any tips or material how to do it for research away from the code yourself? What he means? What do you understand for this?
So he is saying that any tips or material for making those previous things that are the KML balloons. So just go for the Google Docs of the Google developer site for the KML and also for the maps. It is more or less everything that is at a single place. Google has already provided as a single place for all the material that you need. And for the design part, you may just practice to make something from Figma. Just start something from scratch, and then you can try to code it as well, which is a very good practice, I would say, in general.
Also, next to this, I'm going to show one screen in the streaming. Yash, you will not see it here. We have almost ready the wiki developed by our Velvet contributors. So it's almost ready. It's almost ready. We have many of your contents you already developed for task 3, and it's almost ready, but still it's not ready. So what I'm saying that when we have the wiki, hopefully you will find plenty of these informations on the wiki. That's the reason to have the wiki. What other questions? Soham. Soham, remember, you cannot discuss here what your project is. This is something private. I'm just taking a look. Yes, your application is a core application, so please let me answer this. I will say, Soham, that of course, if your application is not gonna be it's not gonna have a physical user interface, so you cannot make mockups. But you can make the mockups on the Liquid Galaxy, how the data you're handling is represented. Of course, you can do that. And in the other side, what you can add, for example, use cases, or you can add any other graphic you want. So your project is special. You can do this. What else? Any other question, guys? It's been 45 minutes. I think that's enough for today. Joseph, okay. Let's wait for Joseph to rephrase his question. Okay. Tips on integrating Google Earth in app.
So I would be just making a very brief note on this, that if you are making anything on the Google Earth, let's say there are some KML visualization, The only integration that you need is to have those visualizations also occur in your Google Map as well. And if in case your Google Earth is not connected to the if your Liquid Galaxy and your Flutter app are not connected, then you can just directly visualize it as a standalone or your Google Maps, and the tips of which already occurred and are already given in the session.
So I think you commented in the chat, maybe in the Discord chat, that they can browse your Huawei application.
Yes.
Explain this, please.
Yeah, so I will tell you, the La Palma Volcano Tracker app was something that was made into an update for the Huawei App Sub Challenge that happened in 2022. So the thing or the prospect that was brought is that the thing should use the Huawei map kits and the Huawei stuff. And also during that time, I was just looking into how you can integrate these KMLs on your map. So what I came up with is that if you have your coordinates, which is why I recommended you not to directly have KML but the JSON files which has your coordinates, you can make those polylines and polygons directly, and you can just make a reference to the maps.google.com, the developer site, and it will help you to know that you can create new markers, new advanced markers, new pin elements, and just center them around a coordinate, and it will allow you to make those same mockups that are on your Google Earth. So just let me put it this way: anything that is made or any visualization on the Liquid Galaxy can also be made in a same way on your Google Maps as well, and the docs are very much explanatory for that.
Very good. So guys, on the chat, if there is not any more question, we will wait for 30 seconds, and not, we will close this streaming. Just in the middle, let me try to remember, I shared yesterday an amazing picture I did with the upcoming streamings. I'm gonna try to show this now. What is this? Just for waiting for any of your comments. So here on the screen of the streaming is the different presentations we are having those days. We have just yesterday 2, and today we have 2 more. So we are doing lots of things. Let me say you one thing also. I don't know, Josh, what's your opinion, but some guys told me that, I don't know if it was by email or was in the Discord, but that even if they are not choose, we don't know how many interns we are going to have this year, but we are doing lots of efforts for training you. And he told me exactly that even if he's not chosen, he's so happy to, because we are sharing lots of contents and having this nice community. So on the screen is that we have yesterday Joseph, Rafaida, today Rafael, Yash, and in no time we have our Google developer expert Alfredo that is going to talk about Gemini and Gemma models, how to integrate those in Flutter, but doing something very special, doing a demo of multimodality. Multimodality means that he will make a demo not using text like a chatbot, that is the most typical use case with the LLMs, but using the multimodality. That means that he will use images and sounds. So as this year we have many different projects using not images much, but sounds, it will be very nice. Then we have, I don't know, we have a lot. We have Manas doing another training on presentation on fine-tuning LLMs for Google Gemma. That is the open source version of Google LLM. We have Mentor Prayak dissecting his smart city dashboard application. We have Ryan from Canada talking about AI voices. We have Saumya from India integrating Google Maps in Flutter. We have Amit, animation in Flutter for Liquid Galaxy apps. We have Peter from Egypt, I think. I'm not sure at this moment. how to create a chatbot using Gemini and Flutter. And also there are two more sessions that still are not 100 finished. This is the reason they are not on this flyer, but we will have shown. I think one is from you, Shaunan Nagrecha. You owe me some materials. I'm waiting for your thing to announce your presentation. Also, Rohit Kumar, I sent you an email not much time ago talking about what we need for this. So Peter, do not talk us with where we are doing the streaming. Man, you are disturbing us. Wait till the streaming ends. It's going to end in a second. So thank you, Amit, Yash, Aunak, Manaj, Joseph, Soham, Yash, of course. Ridi Shukla sent a message and said suddenly it was deleted. Vivek, Soham, Vedan, and so on. Pablo, Vertica. Hi, Vertica, how are you? And who else? Ryan, Pablo, plenty of people today. So, very nice session, Mentor Josh. Thank you again, always, for your collaboration. And last thing, interviews are going to start now. As I can give you a tip. Mentor Josh already have sent their emails to their contributors' interviews. I can say which one are, but the contributors chosen have an email from Mentor Jazz already on their inbox. So please do not please upload your GSoC proposal as soon as possible to the platform. And remember, we need to have the Google Doc also open for comments, and wait for the interview with the mentor. Nothing else. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.